Right guys, welcome back to the channel. This is part 2 on the Your Next piece of portrait work we're doing. Now I've started off with the yellow oxide again and I've just lightly toned that down, made it a little bit darker, just dropped a teeny bit of black in it and just darkened it off. I'm going around adding textures and tones to the knuckles, just buzzing around the picture. You'll see me in this video, I'll be like jumping about from piece to piece. I won't stay in one particular piece for a long time. I'll move around the picture quite a bit. So just adding some more darks to the knuckles, different tones, just giving it some shadows, as you can see there. And I'll be using the electric eraser in this today and the scalpel. I've got a little piece of texture like webbing that I use, and you'll see that in a minute as well. Just more darks. As this is quite a dark picture, you're just adding more darks and shadows to this as you're going around. I'm using a transparent black on the very dark parts and just building the layers up on this. Now I've got the shield, and now I'm just using that shield, as you see there, just to sharpen up some of the knuckles. Working around with the shield, just adding some little sharp edges, and just makes them edges pop that little bit more when you put the black down with the shield. More darks again. Just working around this picture, adding more darks, guys, and more textures with the darks, working around the knuckles. And some edges will be soft, as you've seen on that one a minute ago. I just buzzed up with the airbrush and gave it a soft edge instead of a sharp edge. Now I'm using the shield again, and I've changed the ring on this. As you can see, the one in the picture's got skulls. I've just used a texture template shield and just sprayed through it and gave it my own texture on that. Just working in some darks on that ring there. More and more darks, guys. You're just backwards and forwards adding textures, using the shield, sharpening edges up, as you can see there. And I've put my own logo in the centre. That was cut out from the sign shop off a cutter plotter, my logo. Placed it on the actual aluminium board and then sprayed around it in black to make it pop. I'm working the chain in now. They're just circles with the airbrush, and then I just dust over, and you'll see me drop some highlights in on them later on. Now I've moved up to the side, dropping some blacks in. We've buzzed the cloak at the top in, that's gone in now. Just nice light passes with a transparent black. And I use the eraser to put some highlights in on the top of that cloak. Now I'm back to over the other side where the knuckle is. As I say, I buzz around this picture. It's really hard to try and talk through this with you, as it's a time lapse. Back up to the cloak, that's transparent black, just a very light dusting, and then just start to build it up. As you can see, it gets darker. Electric eraser, just knocking back some highlights, and I use the scalpel to give it some like frayed edges on that cloak to make it look like it's been torn. This next stage was really awkward. I actually put the GoPro to my wrist. I was working with the GoPro just hanging onto my wrist there, guys, so that's a bit of like in footage of the airbrush. Now we're moving down to the bottom stage, back in with the darks, guys. It's like build the layers up. This is the part of the cloak, the bottom, and as you can see, I've just dusted in 2 passes where the dog tags are in transparent black, and I'll work textures into them in a minute. Onto the chain, little dots, and then I'll just sharpen them up as we go along. As I say, buzzing around the picture. More darks, more textures, and then drop highlights in like with the scalpel there, just real sharp highlights. That's good because you can scratch back to the white under the board and take the paint away, so it pops out the real sharp highlights. And then you can dust back over them and knock them back and then bring them back out later on. Working down, putting some more blacks to the bottom, just darkening that panel out. just a little bit at a time, just working around the piece, guys. Nice and simple, nothing complicated in this portrait whatsoever. Back in with the scalpel, putting some real sharp highlights in that chain, working round, and the little frayed edges, and that just makes it pop. Saves you going in with the airbrush with the white. You can just scratch back and erase back to the white of the board. There you go, guys. I'm just going to do a little break. As you can see in them time lapses, we've been cracking on with this. I'm going to have to end this video here and give you another part on this, but I'll just talk you through the things that we've done. We've gone back in with the yellow oxide and continued round. We've been adding textures. We've now dropped the ring in. The actual ring on the actual image has got skulls on it, but I've changed it and put my own logo in on there and just done some cracked effect on that inside of the ring. We're coming up and started dropping the cloak in, just dropping the darks in and then hitting it with highlights, doing some nice little wispy bits with the scalpel to give it some texture, like it's frayed around the edges. We're coming down, dropping a bit more of the cloak in. We've dropped the first sort of dog tag in. I'm just building the textures up on this, and then on the bits of the chain coming round. We've got the next dog tag and the bottom half of this to do in the next episode, and a bit round here, and then I'm going to get some candies and we're just going to dust a little bit of candy over in certain places in this, just to give it that depth and enrich the colour a bit. But that's where we are. I've got to end it because I've got to go out. It's a busy day, it's Saturday, I've got other stuff to do, but I just wanted to get this next part up for you guys so it gives you something to watch over the weekend. Don't forget, if you're liking the content, click that like, guys. It helps the channel out, and I will see you in part 3 when we finish and complete this, and I'll take you through some clear coating stages as well, because we're going to get all this clear coated up and that will really darken these colours off. So thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one, guys.